What is up, guys? It's the Sound Alchemist, part of One Mind Syndicate, and today I'm back to talk about Warhammer 40K. So today we are talking about the strongest weapon in the galaxy. Well, the known galaxy for that matter, because when it comes to the universe of Warhammer 40K, we really don't know what exactly lies outside the Halo stars, and we've seen some pretty nasty things come from there, such as the Halo devices. The old ones left the galaxy, the Tyranids came from outside the galaxy into here, and we know that the Silent King was also able to go out of the galaxy and come back. So who knows what these beings / characters have knowledge of from outside of the Milky Way galaxy. But for now, we have a ton of weapons, armor, vehicles, etc. that can be deemed as the strongest weapon. But first, before I get to that, I do want to let you guys know that Halloween is almost here. So to celebrate all things spooky in Warhammer 40k, I will be dedicating a few videos to all things horror. So stay tuned for that near the following days as we get closer to Halloween, where I will put out a creepypasta. In the meantime, we do have a playlist for creepypasta as well as a playlist for Halloween week for 2021 and 2020, so check those out. But with that being said, let's go ahead and get into the meat of this video. So of course, one of the most powerful means of annihilating life from a planet is Exterminatus. This is the pinnacle of obliteration. Anything when it comes to weaponry, such as bolters, plasma weaponry, las cannon, hell, even titans, they do not amass to the destructive power of the Exterminatus. Basically think of it as the Death Star in Star Wars. It is basically a bombardment from spaceships to launch torpedoes into the planet, and it will blow it up, or depending on the type of missile or detonation used, it'll either burn away the atmosphere so that whatever is left on this husk of a world basically dies due to all the radiation and lack of oxygen or whatever is on that planet or was on that planet. Now that seems pretty powerful, and don't get me wrong, it is, but another thing that is really devastating in the universe of Warhammer 40k is the warp. The warp can literally swallow up planets and regurgitate them as a demonic monstrosity. So everything you once knew in this world can be shifted into demons, or even other things that don't even make sense in real space, such as crystals that dematerialize and rematerialize, gardens of flame that never goes out. Like, the potential limitations to this are countless. If you could think it, if chaos can spew it, it probably has happened to a chaos world. And don't even get me started about a chaos world that is a legit obese man. Like, wow, what? Is that still canon? Is that legit? Like, there was a demon world that got swallowed by the warp and got regurgitated back out as a curled up humanoid person. Why is it not a demon? Why did this happen? Who knows? But that is one of the more crazier things in 40k that I've ever read, honestly. That's pretty scary when you think about it. Like, can this person world gain sentience? Like, what happens if a chaos demon inhabits it or something like that? Can it cause further mayhem? Like, what chaos god did this? Probably Nurgle. But yeah, that's some pretty wild stuff. And the warp is very crazy, because the warp obviously can give other persons of interests, other warriors, abilities to just spawn things, shoot out mental bullets. I mean, look how strong the Emperor of Mankind is. He is arguably the strongest psyker, and we've seen a bunch of things that he can do. And that's not even hitting the top of the echelons. Think about the Chaos Gods. Look how powerful they are. Able to sway Primarchs, able to launch war against the Imperium, and I guess the whole galaxy for that matter. Able to use their power to create lesser and greater demons. They can warp reality it's almost limitless what you can do with the warp. Now, as strong as Exterminatus is, as strong as the endless possibilities of the warp could be, I still think there is two more things more devastating, more powerful of a weapon than that. And the first one is the Space Marines. Yeah, you can say, well, how does that make sense? Space Marines can't take out planets. Well, depending on the technology of the world they're on, a squad of Space Marines could be all that's needed. Sending a squad to conquer Earth, nowadays, that's entirely doable, because, what are our weapons and what are our means of combat going to do to a power-armored Space Marine? That is all about just getting the objective done the most efficient way, the fastest way possible. We've seen the Astartes, head-to-head in combat in one of the most best animations out there, Astartes. So we know how efficient they could be against, what was it, like cultists or whatever it was? They had no chance against the Space Marines. It wasn't until some arcane technologies were brought into the fold and some psychic abilities were used that they actually had some trouble. Do we have any of that? No. And we also get to see the brutal might that is a Space Marine when you read the Horus Heresy. The Horus Heresy, near the end tales of it, actually met up with different human civilizations that you could say were more advanced than the Imperium was at that time. They allied with Xenos. They had technology similar or even more advanced than the Great Crusade era Space Marines, which we all know were really brutal and really efficient in getting things done. And even then, the brutality, the power, the might of the Space Marines triumphed. When you look into the lore of 40K, the Space Marine is the pinnacle of a soldier. You want something to get done, you send the Marines, the Space Marines. And that is why I think they are the most cost efficient, I guess you could say. To create a Space Marine, it does involve a lot. You have to get aspirants, they have to survive the process to become a Space Marine, they have to get trained as a scout, moved up to the heavy weapons team, put into a tactical squad, and then, further and further up their training, their combat experience to where they will be a formidable force against any opponent, be it Chaos. Chaos is a really powerful thing, but there are Space Marines to counter Chaos with the Grey Knights. Not just that, there are also Space Marines that are blanks. These things are the antithesis to Chaos. The Emperor created the Grey Knights, the 666th chapter, specifically to fight against the demon. So, as powerful as Chaos can be, corrupting minds, creating warp storms, a Grey Knight can take all that away and render it null. Look at what Kaldor Drago did to a demon-empowered Primarch, Mortarion. Yes, he did have a little bit of help with other prognosticars, but working as a team is what, a well-balanced force of Grey Knights does best, and he was able to take down a Primarch at that has been boosted by the boons of Chaos, the god of Nurgle himself, and he carved his, I believe it was past chapter master's name into his chest. So that is some pretty hectic stuff that has been happening against Chaos that, I made him seem almost nigh unstoppable earlier. So yeah, the Space Marines are really powerful, but there is something that I think is the most powerful weapon out there, and that is none other than bioweapons. You might be thinking, wait, bioweapons, really? Well, think about it this way. You have an organic weapon that knows only war and will not stop until they are dead. Not just that, but bioweapons can be created a little bit easier than others. And there are two massive threats in the galaxy that I deem could be called bioweapons. The first is that of the orcs. These guys are essentially kind of like a lichen, an animalistic fungus type creature that only knows war, only knows aggression, and they will stop at nothing. Even if their head gets chopped off, lop it back on, sew it on, and they're ready to go fighting again. Orcs have been a threat, a menace to the galaxy wherever they are. Look at Armageddon. Look at the Exterminatus sector. It is just non-stop war and mayhem, and no matter what, orcs can never be fully eradicated. For once you think you've gotten the orcs done, you see feral orcs sprout. You see Gretchen, you see Squigots, you see Squigs. You cannot get rid of them as easily as you think, and they will just keep coming back, and because they're so aggressive, they will slowly take over no matter what. On that same matter, you also have the organic apex predators of the galaxy, the Tyranids. Tyranids came from the other side of the galaxy into ours because they are drawn to the Astronomicon. They have been devouring any biomass out there. If a world has life, they will consume it. They send out gene stealer cults to infiltrate. They send out entire galaxy, tendrils that ours isn't even the main fleet. These are tendrils that are doing this much damage to the Imperium. The Ultramarines had a huge difficult time against the Tyranids when they first came in head to head. Calgar almost died to a Swarm Lord having 3 of his 4 limbs hacked off. The Tyranids are a menace, akin to that of the orcs. Like I said previous, the Exterminatus sector, the orcs against the Tyranids. It is just a battle of who is the best, and there is no winner. There is no best. These two are the apex. They are the top of the line. Nothing can get them down. Yes, you could win battles, but the war is never over. These bioengineered monstrosities of nature cannot be killed. They cannot be eradicated. Even if you fight them with viruses, even if you fight them with bolter and chainsword, yes, they will die, but they always keep coming back. Spores because of the orcs when they die, and Tyranids, they'll just learn and adapt. Evolution. Bioengineered weapons from Mother Nature, or who knows what, the old ones. This is the threat to the galaxy. This is the strongest weapon in all of 40k. Let me know if you guys agree with this. Do you agree in what I said? Because obviously, I started off big. Exterminatus, boom. It is not a measly plasma cannon. It is not a heavy bolter that is the strongest weapon in 40k. No, it is a living weapon organism. So thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for watching. Again, let me know your thoughts down below. Do you agree with this assertion that I have put out? If you think there is a stronger weapon, or if you think one of the previous ones that I mentioned should be the strongest in 40k, let me know why down below, and we'll keep the conversation going there. Again, guys, stay tuned for all things horror when it comes to Halloween. Halloween week will be here soon, so stay subscribed for that. Check out the shorts. Hit us up on Instagram. Hit us up on Twitter. I'm a lot more active on Twitter. For some reason, our Facebook thing got eradicated by Facebook, so we can't post on there anymore. But hit us up on Twitter. And yeah, if you guys want to help support us, we do have a Patreon page, or you can support us directly here via Super Thanks. As always, guys, it's the Sound Alchemist, part of One Mind Syndicate, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.